And we are live. Hi Saurabh, how are you? Welcome to Second Last Supper.
Hey, well, unusual timings. Usually, I think we should sit down for Saturday evenings or Friday evenings, but you are like a Monday evening person.
Yeah, we have
How,
been doing these on Monday 8:30 p.m. So yeah.
how did you decide Monday?
I don't know because we have like two channels, so we try to do one stream every day during the night. So yeah, so I think this was the slot like that was there, and because I have to show up on a Friday and a Saturday also, so I was like, let's do this one on Monday. But so nice to have you here,
Yeah.
Saurabh. And guys, just a quick introduction. Saurabh is the CTO and co-founder of Plum HQ. Plum is जिन Plum के बारे में exactly like हमें सौरभ बताएंगे like what Plum is and what do they do. But I've been very excited to do this episode, and मुझे please आप like थोड़ा सा हमारी audience को idea दीजिए Plum exactly क्या करता है.
Absolutely. First up, thank you, Vaibhav and Vani, for having me on the show. What you just crossed 100 episode recently. This is for Chalchitra and Last Supper together.
हाँ मतलब उन पे मिला के तो like we have crossed more than 100. Yeah.
Awesome. 100. So I'm 101, maybe.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me on the show. A quick one on Plum. Look, Plum is a problem which we are solving in employee health insurance and healthcare space. क्या है कि पिछले 20 सालों से whatever insurances which or even if you backtrack, right, a corporate, they pay salaries to their employees, and apart from salaries there is benefits which they also put on, right? Sometimes these are commuter benefits to help you transfer from office to work. These are food benefits. Similarly, one of the very important instrument or benefit which they do, which a lot of companies have been doing for a while, is health insurance.
Yeah.
And health insurance is a financial instrument, right? Which is that अगर किसी employee का कोई accident या health calamity हो जाती है या फिर उनकी family में किसी health calamity हो जाती है, so they should not burn their savings. So this is a very vital instrument which companies provide as a benefit. And why companies do it as compared to individuals is because as a group, when you're buying an insurance, you have a better negotiation power. You could do a lot of customization. You could get the same or high quality benefits or high quality insurance for really cheap price. As compared to individuals, right? Individuals would have waiting period restrictions. You have to pay for 4 years before it could start getting used. So in nutshell, Plum is building this employee health insurance and healthcare platform. Also, why I'm saying healthcare is because corporates now are not just looking at vanilla insurance as a benefit. They want to take care. They want to make their employees happy and healthy. So it's a employee health insurance and healthcare. We do this by solving majorly 3 abstract problems. One is how corporates can come and purchase, which is because इससे पहले the corporates were dealing with brokers, agents, depending upon which broker you chat with. the pricing would change drastically, because
Got
the
it.
brokers would have relationships with the insurance companies, they would keep commissions, etc. So bringing a lot more transparency into the purchase process. You could customize complete to the last detail. मुझे maternity 50,000 का चाहिए अपने employees के लिए, या फिर मुझे maternity 75,000 का चाहिए अपने employees के लिए, उसके हिसाब से you would see a real-time pricing, very transparent, and go and have a frictionless purchase. That's one. Second is insurance is also about administration. So I have 2 employees leaving today, 3 employees coming tomorrow, right? So how do I add them into the policies? And the policy is like insurance is like a bank account where I have to deposit money, withdraw money. So there is a lot of ledger which is happening on top of your insurance accounts. So we are digitizing that ledger, building a real-time transparency layer of which employee is covered, which employee is not covered, so you don't miss those coverage even by a day. And then the third, which is the holy grail, is the claims, which is how an employee or a member or a family member of an employee, they could plan treatments, or they could understand how to go about claims. Claims have been a very shady experience for a lot of people. And here we are again building an experience where you could plan treatments with us. You could say, hey, I want to take my mom for a knee surgery operation. Is this covered in my insurance plan?
Yeah.
If it is covered, which hospital should I go to? How much is it going to charge? How much will the insurance cover for me? How much will I have to bear out of my own pocket? Right. So all of that treatment plans to then, if I go through a hospital and if I walk into an emergency situation and I'm not able to use a cashless feature of insurance, which is really important, then I have to pay from my own pocket, but I could reimburse. In this reimbursement, in the old days, you would build an envelope, a docket of all documents, medical bills, pharmacy bills, discharge summaries, doctor reports, and ship it to insurance company. And then they would acknowledge whenever the snail mail will reach to them, right? So this 2021, right? We are the generation of Snapchats and Instagrams,
Yeah.
right? So can you just take pictures of your bills and process your claims in digital way?
Nice.
So these are the 3 abstraction of problems that we solve. Within this, there are tens of other problems which are systemic versus product versus engineering and user experience.
Okay, so ये आप businesses के लिए ही बना रहे हैं जो बाकी corporates हैं
Correct.
उनके लिए. Yeah, got it.
Correct. So we go to corporates, get all their employees, and then their employees could access more with us. They could increase their insurances. They could buy for their parents. They could get into primary care. They could talk to doctors. They could get their health checkups done. So corporate buys the health benefits, and then employees, they buy whatever their particular needs are.
Got it. And मैं आपसे कुछ entrepreneurship related सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ. Like, how has the journey been? Like, मतलब let's talk about the tough parts of it. जो अभी आपको ऐसा लगा. What were the biggest like roadblocks in the journey of Plum?
In the journey of Plum?
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. So Plum is one, we are early in our journey. We are 1.5 years into the journey. But it feels like I've lost so much of hair. It feels like about 5-6 years now. You're asking for hurdles that we have seen in the journey?
Yeah.
Look, kya hai ki a lot of people ask us, so, okay, let me backtrack and tell you how Plum, not right from the beginning, but somewhere I'll start in the beginning and between, and then we can go across the timeline. So this is when we had figured, this is between me, Abhishek, that we had figured that we wanted to do health benefits for companies, and health insurance is the most important thing apart from the other health benefits. And this is pre-COVID, right? 2019, July is when I'm talking about. And we are doing this. Abhishek's third startup and mine is second, or maybe formally second and formally third sorts. I was doing a project in blockchain before. So we knew that it's not about writing code, right? It's not about building the product and getting into the hands of the customer. It's not product market fit right now, it's idea market fit first. Right. So whether the market is ready for this kind of thing, and what does the market talks about it, right? Is there a market, or are we creating a market? So what we're doing is, in from July to almost October, is we are doing stakeholder analysis. Between him and me, we had access to most of the companies here, the startups here in the ecosystem, and we are talking to companies of 10 people employees to 10,000 people employees, and learning from them, is this your need? Is this something which is a pain point? Is it pain to procure health insurance? Do employees appreciate the insurance? Do they even know whether they have an employee benefit called an insurance, where you spend 5% of your annual incomes, right? Annual payrolls. So what is the ROI, etc.? Is there transparency? Are they enjoying this experience which you're giving to them? In this stakeholder analysis, it's coming out to us that this is a pain point. Health insurance is a pain point. Then we don't just stop here. We go to insurance companies. We take a flight. We go to Mumbai, and there we are sitting with the insurance companies saying, "Do you have a problem in distribution? Are you able to reach out to companies of all sizes, especially small companies, SMEs? What about 10 people, 20 people companies? Are you able to give insurance to them? How are you reaching out? Because these are not digital savvy companies, insurance companies, right?" So learning about the stakeholders, we are building this thesis. Now we go into the market, we says, okay, let's raise a sort of an angel or a pre-seed round, and get a team and start going on. We go to all tier one VCs first, and everyone rejects it. Everyone. One of the very popular VC said, the insurance companies denying claim is part of the business model. What will you do?
Yeah.
Right. Your screen is froze.
Yeah.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you are okay. I think something
Wait,
happened.
what happened?
Yeah, like this is the real me. 1 second.
No, but this view is also nice too.
Yeah. So actually, I'm using my phone as a webcam, and that suddenly stopped working for some reason. Yeah. So I use this again, like it's a
So what, वो freeze हो गया, वो गर्म
हाँ
हो गया क्या?
वो freeze हो गया, उसको कुछ हो गया है जो नहीं होना चाहिए था, and I'm trying to fix this. Otherwise, I'm so sorry this happened. Like,
Hey, it's absolutely
yeah.
fine.
It's
a part of our,
yeah.
you're talking about hiccups,
Yeah.
part and parcel of life.
So I think I should be back in a second. 1 sec.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll hold on my train of thought.
yeah.
You're back.
I'm looking good again. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, actually, that's a pretty cool trick. I should also use my phone's camera.
Oh,
So
yes.
much
So
better than
I
those
actually
laptops.
did the podcast with the founder of this app I use. It's called Camo, Reincubate
Yeah,
Camo.
I saw that.
Yeah. So it's Zameen Asman ka difference, as you can see.
I totally, yeah.
Yeah.
But
We should go back to what we were discussing about, like जैसे आप जो insurance companies के पास जाते हैं and like they are not able to penetrate into these small SMEs की जैसे बात कर रहे हैं, and आप उनके पास जाके इसके बारे में बात करते हैं. हाँ जी.
Correct, right? So distribution उनकी problem है. They are not able to reach out to the companies. They don't have a user experience layer as well, or a story pitching way to get into startups, right? So, so basically, we know that the problem is there, right? We've done about 70 interviews so far between the insurance companies and the HRs of all sizes, 10 employee companies, which are founders or self operators, to all the way to 10,000 companies, the Swiggies of the world, and we've established the problem is there. We go to the VCs, and VCs are not buying into that. Health insurance is a market where people with no insurance background, people can crack this industry, which is highly regulated, or crack this industry where they believe that the business model is dependent upon a poor user experience of denying the claims intentionally, right? This is first principally wrong. So and hence we did not back out when some of the big VCs said no because of these reasons, right? We were convicted, and um, taking a side route into the world of Khata Book, right? Before Khata Book, did anybody know that there is going to be the pan walas, the bidi walas, cigarette walas, and the MSME kirana shops, which will be on mobile, running the dhanda on mobile, right? So sometimes some institutional investors may have theses, and some are just following the trends, and sometimes they may not have thesis at all. So maybe after around 20, 25, 30 VC conversations, we found one fund, small fund, but enterprising small fund, which backed us, a Japanese investor, Incubate Fund. They backed us with $1 million. And now it was for us to start coding. Right? So incorporated the company after that, basically. Why did we not incorporate the company before is that, look, we know that we need high quality team here. We know that we need some backer here to get us started. So this thesis was clear. It's okay. There's no, I mean, you could have done it without funding as well, but it's okay. That pushed us, right? So 3 months into it, our first version came out. It was just 3 of us, and maybe by 4th month, 4 of us. Our first customer was our lawyer who brokered the $1 million deal. And then from there, a dozen more, 2 dozen more, and then COVID break. And at that time, we had been looking at figuring out what kind of insurance products which we could do for COVID particularly. And we came up with a really low cost. We instrumented with one of the insurance companies, telling them what we need. Instrumented a COVID product. It was a very cheap COVID product of 249 rupees per person, right? And that just sort of break the cloud for us. And within few months, we were looking at hundreds of customers who had taken that low cost product. But that was just entry for us, right? Low cost product was an entry for us. And followed by Sequoia, who had been watching us for last 6 months of how our product execution is, right? So some of these folks were waiting for product execution. Some of these folks got activated because of the COVID and the healthcare trend, which was picking in. And the thesis started forming. What we believed would have been about 5 years to win the market penetration looks like now a 2 years game. Right, so everything got accelerated post-COVID about the awareness of health insurance. The push became the pull, and we were in a fortunate space. Look, we were always in the long game here. So when we jumped in, I know you want to say something, but we jumped in. It was about a 10 years thing, which we were thinking that 5 to 10 years of breaking the penetration, but that just got accelerated because of COVID. Otherwise, we would have been slugging for 5 years as well, but delivering the results the way we wanted to. You want to say something, or I could go to the main agenda, which is the problems?
Yeah, मतलब मैं क्योंकि दोनों चीज़ों के बारे में बात करना चाह रहा था कि like the problems Plum faced and the problems you as an individual, as an entrepreneur faced, और बाल क्यों झड़ रहे हैं उसका सबसे बड़ा रीजन क्या है? क्योंकि मैं वो जानना चाहता, क्योंकि मेरे भी बाल झड़ रहे हैं और हम लोग जो कर रहे हैं, like there are so many problems. हाँ,
बाल पहले से ही झड़ चुके थे प्लम से.
नहीं, बट ऐसी कौन सी चीज है? द पॉइंट बीइंग कि एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर द मोस्ट स्ट्रेसफुल थिंग्स यू फेस कि यार ये कितना टफ है, ये आई मतलब कभी कभी होता है ना, ही आई डिड नॉट साइन अप फॉर दिस. वो ऐसी कौन सी चीजें कभी कभी फील हुई कि दिस इज सो टफ?
Look, I'll tell you the toughest one, which is what is our moat? एक कंपनी का क्या मोट हो सकता है? या तो आपने 5 साल घुस के कुछ ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई है जो कि इज सो फार सुपीरियर दैट एवरीवन हैज टू कैच अप टू 2 to 3 years जिनको कैच अप करने में लग जाए, या फिर आपने मार्केट पेनिट्रेशन 50% से ऊपर उठा ली है, लेकिन वो 50% बनाते हुए भी तो कुछ मोट होना चाहिए था ना. तो when you're 1.5 years, 2 years old, what is your moat? When you're 0 years old, what is your moat? So क्या है कि the biggest moat is the people, the team that you have. भाई सब कुछ भी कर लो तुम. You could, if you have a great team, right? You could move mountains. You could catch any sort of debt which you are in. You could come from behind. I remember, look, I spent close to 2 years in Freshworks from my last companies. So this is Girish's story. We would be sitting in this conference room, and there were about 24 all leaders of different verticals, and we're doing our annual meeting. And people are saying, Girish, but chat is the way to go. Chat ये कर रहा है, intercom यहाँ निकल गया है, ये यहाँ निकल गया है, Zendesk नाम सुन के सबके कान खड़े हो जाते थे. तो Zendesk ये कर रहा है. And Girish was very calm about it. He said, look, we can always come from behind. There are about 200, maybe more than that, customer support software, right? They still made a market coming from behind, building a fresh desk in a very competitive space, right? So for him personally, what he has seen from his experience, it's not about who does the thing first in the market, but who does it better, right? You could always come behind. There's a market big enough. If there is a big enough market, many people can survive. If you want to win, you could win as well. But the moat is the team. So talent acquisition, mere dost, is a really tough act, and managing their talents and their emotions is even tougher. So this is, I would say, no recipes out there. Everyone has to build their own recipes, and even both managing aspects to acquiring aspects.
Few more questions about the talent acquisition part. Like, what are the things जो आप देखते हो, like when you are hiring someone, कि what are the no-nos? Let's not talk about the good things. What are the no-nos for you? कि अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो for me, in the terms of like the team I'm trying to build, it's a red flag. What are the red flags for you when you are trying to hire someone?
Good one. So I usually go for crazy ones. So if I made mistakes, but but the crazy ones are very interesting to me. I think they could create a delta which otherwise unprecedented delta could come with some craziness, and I'm maybe going to use some negation styles, but people who, and you talked about, before we went live, you were talking about this idea of hustle. Look, hustle is not like working 20 hours your ass off. Hustle is creative ways to unblock yourself.
Nice.
The first thing about hustle is creativity, right? Which is you have a task to do. You may have to navigate political, geopolitical, or Slack, virtual communication, different hierarchies, etc. But how creatively you could unblock things is what is the hustle for you to get things done, right? So I try to seek signs of that, but if you say non-negotiable, I would say it's communication. We are living in a very unprecedented world, dude. Here, how you communicate your ideas, to how you maneuver your teams, is all about that. That whether you're able to incept an idea and whether you are able to convince your teams and gather this village to move the mountains which are required. You could be a great IC, yes, sure. We have a place for you. If you're a great IC, but within that IC piece as well, there is a lot of communication that you have to do to pass on the knowledge that you have, or to seek the knowledge which you want to do your IC work. So that I usually figure out in my one-on-ones. We're not putting them through a formalized test to do communication, but every interview panelists do give a feedback whether this is communication, yes or no. Right. So that is one non-negotiable to survive, especially in this remote world.
Got it. Abhi, like some time back, I was watching this series on YouTube, the Sam Altman one, How to Start a Startup. I was watching one of the lectures, and the person had said there, like, you need to, when you're hiring people, you need to see whether they are a barrel or ammunition, because आपको barrels ज़्यादा चाहिए. Ammunition जो है वो, like, the barrels can control the teams. So when you are looking for someone, or when you have someone in your team, you need to know, is that a barrel or is that ammunition? And I really, really like that analogy.
Attack defense. Is this what could be the other analogies of barrel and ammunition?
इसकी और analogy क्या हुई? Basically the person, barrels are the one जो execution में help करते हैं. Ammunition is की, like, जो execution कर रहे हैं.
Ideas.
Yes, yeah. No, so the execution of the ideas and creating things. अगर मैं बैरल में like बारूद डाल रहा हूँ और ये सब डाल रहा हूँ, so वो जो जा रहा है, जो like the people who are doing the job, they are the ammunition, but who are coming up, like जैसे आपने कहा, the people who can incept the idea and make the ammunition also work for it. So eventually you need to know कि आपके barrels कौन है, because वहाँ से, क्योंकि अगर वो बहुत ज़्यादा ammunition है और आपके पास barrels की कमी है, then company नहीं चल सकती. You need a lot of barrels so that they can have their own ammunition. लाइक वो ये कि राइफल है, तो राइफल में बुलेट्स जितनी हैं, तो मतलब आप बुलेट है कोई या वो राइफल है. सो इवेंचुअली वी नीड मोर राइफल्स सो दैट दे कैन लाइक मैनेज पीपल ऑन देयर ओन. एंड आई रियली रियली लाइक दैट एनालॉजी.
This is interesting. I'm thinking an analogy which for instance in leadership, right?
Yeah.
Or founders, especially this could be between me and my co-founder. So usually a combination of a visionary and an operator.
Nice.
Right? Think of visionary and an operator, right? So one is like, hey, what about this? Hey, this idea. Hey, that idea. Hey, this. Hey, growth mein ye kare. Hey, sales mein ye kare. Hey, product mein ye kare. And operator is about, okay, let me see how to do this. Yeah, let me execute this. So that combination could be really deadly as well.
Yeah, this is also a very nice example of, like, we are looking for someone जो operations and vision के बीच में, like visionary and like someone who is good at operations.
भाई idea तो सब सोच, ठीक है, नहीं सब नहीं सोचता, लेकिन फिर भी you have to be at vantage point to think ideas. Like think of your brother right now.
Yeah.
He's like an idea machine, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because also he's sitting at this interesting vantage point, right?
Yeah.
So vantage point gives you interesting ideas. This is far sight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but what you need is strong operators as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the books in regard to entrepreneurship that you go back to, or that are like some of your favorites which have helped you in this journey of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so I may not be the right person to answer. You're talking about basically non-fiction books.
Yeah.
And non-fiction books, your experience. If you're reading a non-fiction book without experience, or if you're reading it after experience, you would have two different learnings.
Yeah.
So your experience extract more from the non-fiction books.
Yeah.
I have to spend more time in taking those ideas from non-fiction books. But look, ideas are not just coming from entrepreneur-focused, business-focused books only.
Yeah.
Ideas also come from in the intersection of art, culture,
Absolutely.
science,
Yeah.
and philosophy, right? So my interests are, when I pick up a book, I pick up on this intersection.
Got it.
So you're asking which books would have inspired me,
Yeah,
right?
it can be fiction, non-fiction, anything.
Yeah. Look, my once in a decade book is Siddhartha.
Nice.
I have to do that, especially when I filled my vessel and I have been at a cross section of a road. That book helps me uh, um, get ready for the next phase of my life,
Yeah.
right? And that book is also about phases of life. So that's an opportune book. I hope I could make that ritual. I've done it 2 times in the span of 10 years. Next 10 year, I could pick it up again.
Wow.
Uh, I like crazy wild intersection. So recently I picked up an architecture book. It's the introduction to architecture,
Okay.
and it's pretty interesting. This is a guy called James Tite, and this guy has broken the concept of architecture. And I've always been fascinated with architecture because it's a truly a multidisciplinary field. So it's what he has done is 4 frameworks to access architecture, and the framework is one, to access, analyze, augment, or something. So there are 4 of those. Wait, let me finish my thought. I'll just look up on Google
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
what
Absolutely.
those 4 things, right? But what the beauty is, and what I'll do is, let me just pick up the book from here and tell
Absolutely.
you some interesting components of that book. You will love it.
Yeah. Guys, we are now also on Spotify, and if you haven't discovered us yet on Spotify, do check us out there. And this episode will also be out on Spotify by tomorrow. Yeah, by tomorrow first half, this episode will also be there on Spotify, so do follow us there. Okay, nice. Such a great cover.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the beauty. Is this mirror flipped?
No.
This is not mirror flipped.
Assess,
Okay,
analyze.
I'll
I
read it.
could. Yeah.
So the thing is that if you want to get introduced to this concept of architecture, there are 4 themes which you need. One is assess, analyze, assemble, and augment. And hear me out on what comes in SS. SS is about wonder, environment, disorder, memory, function, form, irony, politics. That's how you're assessing the space which you want to build for, right? Even politics, super important. You go back to any cathedrals or institutional monuments which you have seen. Politics have played such a huge role in coming up with the the design of the buildings as well. So analyze. Think, hear out on the components of analyze. You want to analyze now, right? Walk, influence, reclaim, respect, obscure, heroize, improve, improvise. This is how you're analyzing the space which you want to build for. Assemble. Assemble is all the building blocks of architecture or any sort of building. Floor, wall, structure, roof, door, facade, stairs, services. Hey, services was an interesting one, right?
Yeah.
You're building it for function. Augment. Augment is what? Review. Now you've built it, right? Review, diagram, optimize, economize, color, contrast,
Wow.
scale, craft.
Wow.
Right now, within these about 40 components, you and maybe I'm right now on the 6th or 8th component, but within these 40 or so components, you have an access to an architecture as a dimension, right? So this is
Beautiful.
what kicks me, and what I'm leaving on. I don't pick up a book for a hunger to improve me on a particular function, let's say a product management or talent acquisition right away. What I'm hoping is that when I go through, I can call it scripture, texts such as these, but can I metamorphose? Can some of these learnings come into the brain, become metaphors, and then impact my daily life?
Yeah.
So that's a framework I follow. Having said that, I'm reading one book which I wanted to help me in my current situation, and that's a book called Thinking in Systems. This is Donella Meadows, who talks about how everything in the world is systems, and how systems it, how systems essentially work and not work, or fail or succeed. And in Plum's journey right now, we're in the journey of building systems.
Got it. ये like I am understanding like जो आप ये किताबें पढ़ रहे हैं, it's also about like thinking in just in general, like how you think and understanding how someone thinks. So it's very fascinating, like from where you are drawing your inspiration.
Yeah, another interesting one, which I gave it to a colleague of mine and her daughter, because I think she deserved more than me. It was a book which it's a story. I'll tell you how I discovered the book. But this is a book called Cabinet of Natural Curiosities. It's sort of a coffee table, just like this architecture book, like a hardcover, hard binding. But this is about this crazy guy called Albert Seba. Yeah, Albert Seba. And this guy was a chemist in early 18th century in Amsterdam. And remember, early 18th century, there was no science. There were only chemists. You would get sick, they would give you some ingredients mixed together to fix you. But there was no medicine as a science. Of course, there was science, Galileo's, etc. But the medicine as a science didn't exist at that time. So what this person was doing was he was building specimen, and he would get commissioned to take his ship, travel to the different parts of the world, bring different species and collect them together as specimens in the bottles and in his laboratory. And he would commission the artists to draw whatever the creatures they brought back in those specimens. And so this book is full of drawings of all natural things which you would see in the world, all specimens, right from seeds to plants to animals to some of the crazy ideas of how a frog is becoming a frog was becoming a fish and back to metamorphosis into frog. So some really crazy but very intricate, intricate, colorful drawings, but sort of catalog of the life from 18th century, except humans. And so I gave it to one of my colleague, Rushab's daughter, because she's such an amazing artist. And
Nice.
she draws, and I thought, look, draw this lizard will change your life. Very interesting lizards as well. Very interesting collection. So that's one, which is natural curiosities. But yeah, I get intrigued by books like these.
Yeah, these are like very fascinating books and not the usual kind of recommendations we get on the channel. So yeah, this is interesting. Are you also into audiobooks?
Have you, yeah, audiobooks are wow, so much easier to access, right? Because a book, you could be on the go. So I do audiobooks only for the books which I have in Kindle, and something which I could switch between Kindle and audiobooks to finish the book. But otherwise, I haven't seen like if there is any exclusive stuff happening on the audiobooks.
Okay. And I also wanted to know, like, since like we take a lot of recommendations, is there anything that like in the last few years that you have purchased for less than $100, which you would suggest to everyone? Hey guys, just get this thing. Anything for less than 7,000, 8,000 rupees, which like you
Okay.
think is worthwhile.
To whom? To anyone?
Yeah, to anyone.
7,000, 10,000 rupee, which could do what? Like, what should I tell them that what
So
should be the
basically, like, I'll
objective?
give you an example. Anything that you purchased for less than 10K, which you think is worth the investment, because it's not that expensive, but like this that really helped. Like I was telling ki people have recommended a Kindle, good pair of headphones. And it can be anything. It can be shoes or anything that like people should invest in. Maybe like अगर थोड़ा सा महंगा भी हो, बट लाइक अगर 10K से कम का है कि यार गैस थोड़ी सी महंगी चीज़ है पर खरीद लो, जो जहाँ आपको लगता है कि इट इज़ वर्थ द इन्वेस्टमेंट.
Yeah. Standing desk, dude.
नाइस नाइस.
I think people completely underestimate ergonomics of work
Yeah.
and life, right? So you if there's something which you're going to spend 12 hours on,
Yeah.
right? And on that note, let me show you the chair which I'm sitting on, right? Which is okay. Do you see this chair?
Oh,
It's
okay.
unusual, no?
Yeah,
It's an
it is.
unusual
It
chair,
is.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a kneeling chair.
Oh,
So my leg would kneel on this one,
yeah.
and so I'm always sitting in inclined, kneeled, and my shoes are
Wow.
on the back side here, or feet, and so this is the kneeling chair, right? So what this does is it keeps my back super straight.
Wow.
So because I'm on the kneel.
This is amazing.
But
This is amazing.
right. So the
So
idea
it
is
comes
that
like this, or do you
we
have to customize it in this shape? Does it come
yeah.
like
So
this?
there it comes in this shape, but you could customize basis on how much kneel and how much comfort you need on that kneel, right? Sometimes the kneel is taking a lot of load. Sometimes so this one is giving me a so because of that kneel, I'll send you the pictures to you.
Huh.
But because of this kneel, your back becomes super straight. And look, the concept is that 12 hours, we are spending 12 hours, right? Especially if these are sedentary lifestyles, which we have been put into in the last 2 years, especially, right? And people I know have for 6 of months have worked from the bed.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Right. So 10,000 rupee, please, of course, you could spend on a chair
Nice.
and, put maybe 10 more and you could do a standing desk as well.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
so yeah, invest on
A good
how
chair
you
and a
spend
good table.
majority of, yeah. I think this is something which you should think about. Now we're going away from the realm of $100, but we should think about throughout the lifestyle, right? Which is, what do you sleep on? Do we even know what kind of bed is better for our back?
Yeah.
Right. Do we even know whether should we take hot showers or cold showers? How much minutes of exercise that we should do on a daily basis? I like, at least now, the science of nutrition had been completely evasive as well, elusive, I would say, right? Which is everybody is hockey pocking on nutrition, and there is so much less science to it because everybody, it's just difficult science, right? It's a costly and difficult science where we haven't spent much time. So the likes of Ultra Human, which is helping you to measure your reactions with your food, these are all right directions where we could spend money on as well.
Yeah.
So I would say health. Cliched coming from a health benefits company, but health.
No, this is amazing. And we recently did an episode with Manu Joseph, like who is a writer and like one of the most accomplished writers from India. And like he said it in the last to me and Vani we did this episode on Chalchitra. He said, like, there is one thing that he firmly believes in, and that is food is what will eventually kill us. I think, yeah. Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. There's some network thing. I hope
No,
it's not
it's fine now. It's fine now.
okay.
So
Yeah, food is the absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
I'm complete believer of that. What you eat makes you what you think, what you become, what you are. Yeah, food is so important and so less studied.
Yeah.
Done every day, but so less studied. It's just a hard problem to solve
Yeah.
because you could mix so many things and you're looking at a dish which you have no clue of what's inside, right? So it's just a hard user interface for the world to tap into.
Yeah.
Um, uh, even for the likes of ultra human, there is a lot of logging required on the mobile phone to start tracking things, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to take time and more maybe rapid evolution or cycles of technology where our food and our body chemistry have this real-time feedback with a lot better user experience. It's a user experience which is stopping us
Got it.
on understanding food.
Since we have discussed health and like books, I also want to know, do you have any app recommendations or any apps or websites that you have been using recently, which you are like, hey, I want to talk about these?
Oof. Crazy apps or like useful apps?
Useful apps.
Useful apps means crazy apps. Crazy apps could also be useful.
Yeah.
I like this waking up, Sam Harris
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gone through his courses?
I have. I really like their business model. Like where in the first app he says, if you don't have the money, email us. We'll give you a free subscription for 1 year. And after that 1 year, if you still think you don't want to pay, email us and we'll give it to you. I have asked so many people to buy that subscription and everyone has gotten it for free. It is so cool, like the craziest word of mouth publicity. I've told every person, I've recommended it on Chalchitra Talks. Guys, there is this, you just email it to them, can you give me free 1 year subscription, and they give it to you. And I'm like, holy shit. Because I was using Headspace before that, and Headspace I wasn't paying for the premium one. On waking up, hey, do you want the premium one? We'll give it to you for free.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but I hear you. They're doing incredible work. Think of it like if Salesforce does it as well in a formal way, which is 1% revenue goes to charity.
Yeah.
Okay. Not more than 1% people are going to write emails to them.
Yeah.
So, but the word of mouth which would come from that email will create that ROI.
Absolutely.
So in for you, and I'm going to steal that idea for something. But how do you like the delivery of that meditation course?
I have. Okay, so I have been doing meditation on and off for last few years, and I did the basic course, the first course of like 20-30 like chapters or whatever you call it, the 10-minute ones. After that, I did not use it. I did not like pursue it any further. So right now, how many
days did you?
Not more than a month, and I have the free subscription.
30 days.
Yeah, so I still meditate, but I use this YouTube video of Eckhart Tolle, who is the author of Power of Now. So I just type in Eckhart Tolle meditation, and there is this 16-minute video that he has, and I just play it, and that works. So because I'm trying to find a balance between how much the person who is asking you to meditate is speaking and is not speaking, because complete silence also doesn't work for me, and totally telling ki okay, imagine this, now focus there, that also doesn't work. So in that 16-minute one, Eckhart Tolle is only speaking for 10% of the times. So that is something that is really working for me.
Yeah, interesting. Look, there are infinite ways to tap into that.
Yeah.
Right, because essentially you're tapping into your doors of perception, right? So infinite ways. What I like about this Sam Harris and the app delivery is the words he chooses to make you access this realm
Yeah.
is very, very interesting.
Got
The
it.
words, right? Because remember, this is a tool. Meditation is a tool. It's not like we'll do it for 100 hours and 101st hour crack open.
Yeah.
It's a tool to navigate and think of what's going in your mind. What does that mean when you're thinking about? What does it mean when you lose a thread about? What does it mean when you feel there is some anxiety, and how do you feel that anxiety, right? Can you feel that anxiety? So that is what I really like about. So waking up, I'm glad you also tried that out. While you're speaking, I'm checking out my phone. Um, oh, dude, PhonePe is the most used app. I'm sure it's for everyone.
Is it like I use Google Pay? I have never used Phone Pay.
Yeah, I mean any UPI app.
Yeah.
I'm going by speed, right? I like the speed of PhonePe.
Oh, how is it faster than like Google? I've never downloaded Phone Pay. How is it faster than Google Pay?
It's fast. It just does everything fast.
Nice.
Google Pay is like animation. Poof. You got a coupon, 20 rupees. PhonePe is like tuck, payment, boom, boom, boom.
Very cool.
Yeah. Let me see. I often dive into Reddits in my past times,
Nice.
right? If I have to, instead of those reels, Reddit is my thing instead of reels.
We recently did this episode with Rohan Joshi, like the stand-up comedian from AIB, and we did a 30-minute segment on just his favorite subreddits. And he's like, we can do a 5-hour long episode on this. Do you want to name a few which you like the subreddits?
I mean, I don't have I'm not like a subreddit digger. I know there's interesting ones, but I leave that to serendipity. When I open the app, show me.
Nice.
But I'm not digging into subreddits. Maybe
Okay.
my next level of Reddit. But I know that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard this app called Air, AIRR?
I have, but I haven't tried it. Can you please tell us about it?
Yeah, so it's air quotes. That's what the verb, everyone has a verb, right? Have you booked Uber? Are you plumbed? Hopefully in some time.
Nice.
Air quote is basically in the podcast. Whatever you would bookmark, this will sync up, right? And then this would transcribe the area of podcast that you have booked. Could be those 45 seconds which you have bookmarked for.
Yeah.
Maybe 45 before 45 prior 45 post. So it'll bring that. You could do a quick notes on top of it, or you could speak into the notes and it'll transcribe that as well. So what you get is highlights on your podcasts.
Got it.
And where do I use that most is Discovery.
Got it.
Okay. I have these 2 shitty apps. Can I call out 2 shitty apps?
Yeah, please.
Dog translator and cat translator. I downloaded. I have we foster cats between me and my partner Palvi, and we have 2 dogs. So I downloaded this app thinking that it said to me that you download this app and whenever the dog will bark, it'll translate. Of course, I was stupid to download it, right?
Nice.
I didn't know that. I like Graphy.
Nice.
Very well designed app. Refined. Have you used Refined?
Not yet.
It's a curation app again. You tell your interests, they do a good curation. I think there are a lot of apps which have done or tried doing curation for high quality content. So I still, whenever I open Refined, I see something which I haven't otherwise seen in my bubble of Twitter and all. So it's good to break that bubble. Um, uh, mm, 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 mm. Long list too. Um, hey, by the way, MyGate is doing some incredible work on their app.
Okay.
Are you using that in Jaipur?
I am not. I'm sorry.
Very, very hungry company. And now they've launched rental. I don't, do you know about MyGate?
I don't. I don't.
Oh, wow. Welcome, welcome to the world. Uh,
Please tell.
so
Yeah.
so MyGate is basically a security app for every colonies,
Okay.
where it is replacing your home's intercom systems or your local phones where somebody would need permission to get in,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So they started with this very invasive data, but like who's coming in, who's coming out. Then you could auto check in, auto check out your maids, your delivery, Swiggy delivery, or
Nice.
cab drivers as well. You could do invitations to the friends who wants to come to you. So you could
Nice.
invite your friends with a OTP code.
Oh, nice.
It creates a boarding pass for them, so that they could show it to the gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper says, "No question asked, you can go."
Nice.
Now they've launched home rentals, which is getting into Nestaway, not
Got it.
Nestaway, but Magic Bricks kinds.
Got it.
So they've launched stores like you can buy mango at MyGate,
Nice.
or shop or do urban clap kind of stuff on the MyGate. So very hungry company. It's amazing.
Very nice.
Um, there is a very interesting app which I found called is.online.
Okay.
Okay. What it does is it broadcasts your photo, which is your video feed, and whatever you're doing on the phone. So your video would become picture in picture, and whatever you're doing on the phone is broadcasted for private or public audiences.
What's the use of it?
Um, uh, Come jam with me. I'm going to teach you how to learn. And this is my first experience with this is online app. Was there was a Turkish lady who wanted to teach Turkish, and she opened her notepad while we were all watching her mobile phone, opening her notepad, and she was teaching Turkish in her notepad
Wow.
while speaking, and using the notepad of the iPhone to teach.
Beautiful.
So basically, and then you could do a bunch of stuff, right? You could do co-listening, co-watching, polls, quizzes, etc., etc.
Got it.
I mean, imagine you're sharing your mobile phone screen, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the use cases will emerge if I haven't covered enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gyroscope. Have you used Gyroscope?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Gyroscope is just one beautiful app to show your health thing. Oh yeah, the Zero, the fasting app.
Okay.
Have you used
I
that?
haven't.
So it's a Kevin Rose invested app. Kevin Rose is the founder of Dig, and then did a bunch of stuff in between. But doesn't matter who's. So it's an app for fasting. It helps you in intermittent fasting. It's just a beautiful app for you to just one purpose app to help you fast more, and now they're expanding into more wellness areas, but started with a beautiful fasting app. And
Nice.
if you're a believer in fasting, a lot of people have started their journey to intermittent fasting with this.
Yeah. Nice. And are there any other ones that you want to talk about?
Do you want me to go back?
No, it's okay. It's okay. No. Yeah, because but like, am I missing out on any recommendations? Are you into shows or like movies that you want to talk about that you really like to go back to? What's your opinion of The Social Network?
Or what?
The movies The Social Network.
The movie Social Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it, but it was okay.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I mean, um, uh,
Which is
from are
that
you talking
movie?
about?
Which is that movie that you like in regard to startups or teams or like organizations where you like the culture or how the things are set up? Like currently, I'm watching Mad Men, and and I'm really liking it because it shows the world of ad agencies from 1960s, and I'm really liking it.
Uh-huh.
So are there any shows where you like the structure, the corporate structure, or the startup like Silicon Valley, or anything like that that you really resonate with?
Yeah, it's funny. I completely missed the Silicon Valley series altogether.
Okay,
Yeah, I could have resonated well with that. I binge watch a lot of Office,
nice.
but for the absurdity of that show, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's interesting. It's very that's a kind of humor that I like usually,
Nice, nice.
and inspirational. I think. I do watch a lot of Asian horror movies.
Okay,
Um, I, More than inspiration, maybe tapping some psychosomatic things which are in me, but uh, those are generally reset, or that's the thrill of watching a horror.
got it.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't have a startup inspirational watch for your audience.
No, no, it's completely okay. But like you gave us some very amazing recommendations, and I am going to like visit like especially the apps that you talked about, and I'm going to get that architecture book for like 100%. That is going to be the first thing that I'm going to
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely good. Yeah, this would be a fantastic read for anyone who wants to access architecture.
the architecture concept. Nice. This is amazing, Saurabh. We now have to wrap the podcast, but is there anything that I might have left from my end that you would like to talk about?
Ask me, ask me.
It's just like we tend to ask this to the people because they're like, oh wait, we did not talk about that. It's just
Hey,
something
yeah, yeah, absolutely. We did not talk about this. Why is your show called The Second Last Supper?
just for the SEO purposes. Because if like someone would, if someone would search for the Last Supper, they won't find it. So I was like, let's do Second Last Supper.
I thought there would be a deeper meaning, but
No,
you're
no, no, no.
so honest to the core,
We
right?
are very like my Insta bio also reads deeply superficial. Like I'm very it's very okay to be superficial and people should celebrate it. I'm bored of being like intellectual, like being that in like talking intellectual all the time. It's superficiality is nice.
Yeah. I think safe space, creating a safe space, and or even better, uh, establishing the safe space. Yeah, you're setting a precedent of that safe space. It's not that you're saying that I want to be superficial, but you're saying it's okay if I am not the most knowledgeable person,
Yeah.
or and that's why the podcast, right? But what you have a huge appetite, a hunger for learn, yeah, a
Yeah.
hunger for curiosity, and that means you take a back seat and you put front seat for the people,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
um,
That is
yeah,
something
yeah,
we
it's
we
amazing
we
work that you're doing.
thank you so much. That is something we have been like working on a lot. We are learning every day, and thank you so much for doing this, Saurabh. Like it was a pleasure to have you on Second Last Supper. And if you guys are visiting the channel for the first time, this is our podcasting channel. This episode will also release on Spotify tomorrow and all the other audio platforms. So do check it out. And where can people like if they want to reach out to you, which is the best platform? LinkedIn, Twitter. Where can people reach out to you?
Yeah, Yeah, Twitter is great, wonderful, amazing platform we have, and my handle is Tanish2K. Don't ask me. 2K stuck from 2000s, Y2K bug, and Tanish. Don't ask me again. Maybe a teenage synonym or teenage internet name. So Tanish2K, Tanish, numeric
Yeah,
2K.
we
Reach out on Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn, Saurabh Plum. Feel free. You want to ping, chat about crazy ideas. Uh, uh, I like to talk to people, so happy to chat.
amazing. And we have also put the link in description. The Twitter handle of Saurabh is there, so you can directly click on that also. And we will see you guys soon with another amazing episode of Second Last Supper very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will end the stream now. If you can stay for a second, like just I'll say you bye separately. I'll just end it from the back end.
Take care, folks. Ciao,
Bye,
ciao.
guys. Bye.